Hi, everyone, and welcome to my show, What's Under the Hood? I'm your host, David Royce. Let's get it to it. So on this week's episode here, on April 24th, 2020, we'll be talking about three cars coming from the Motor City here in Detroit. The first car we'll be talking about today is a Ford Bronco that was supposed to be released this spring, and production is supposed to start on the late fall 2020. But due to this COVID-19 pandemic, all these cars listed on this channel may see production delays due to the stay-at-home orders here in Michigan. The second car I'm going to talk about today is the C8 Corvette. This car is already in production in small volumes, but we're going to see a larger production volume coming soon in the near future. And the third car I'm talking about today is Mustang's approach to the electric vehicle market, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, which will be exciting because it's going to be Ford's 100% electric vehicle, not a hybrid, so it should be interesting. So first off, I want to talk about Ford and their revamp of the Ford Bronco. We haven't seen this car since the late 1990s. It was a very big car from the 70s, 80s, up to the 90s, before we saw the SUVs in our market. A lot of people did know the Bronco as, it became huge, especially during the O.J. Simpson chase when he was driving in his white Ford Bronco. But this Bronco is a little different. It's not hosting a big V8 engine anymore. It is likely to go with a 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 that's offered in the Ford F-150, as well as the Ford Explorer. This is going to be all-wheel drive, and there has been leaks of pictures by car and driver. Some people who just want to lose their jobs working at the plant take pictures of pre-production cars. There is some leaks. There is a 4-door and a 2-door. Actually, my experience having Ford as my customer last summer, in an internship I had, there was talks about a baby Bronco as well as the regular Bronco. So the Bronco is going to be on the Ford Ranger platform, so it's not going to be as big as the F-150 or the big Super Duty trucks. So that's how high it will sit. People are looking that this is going to be a moderately priced vehicle, but I believe with the options, you can see this car skyrocketing up into the $40,000 range. This car makes 355 horsepower and 380 foot-pounds of torque, which is it's quite impressive. That competes, I guess, with the stock F-150 coming out with 325 and 400 pounds of torque. All right, sending it into downtown Detroit, out of the Renaissance Center, GM coming out with the Corvette C8. This is a huge deal for Corvette, as it's the first mid-engine Corvette. From first views, if you look at it from the front side, it looks very much like a Ferrari, but the GM engineers kind of just gave up towards the back end of the car, as it looks like a dated Transformer toy from the 1980s. But hey, this is just the first cycle action of this vehicle, so we might see changes in the back end in the near future when they do a cycle action the next 2 years. This engine is ridiculous. This is their first mid-engine setup. So you don't have those big ponies in the front. You have them in front of the rear axle in the back. So you have more weight in the rear axle, which means more control. This car comes with a 6.2 LT2 V8 engine with 495 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. That's absurd. That's a lot of power for a V8 engine, stock out of the factory. That's great. 0 to 60 with their dual clutch automatic transmissions, doing 2.9 seconds from 0 to 60. It might upset a lot of the car enthusiasts and car drivers out there, wanting another manual Corvette due to just kind of the whole driving feel. But Corvette's throwing that, up on the bookshelf for it to retire after seeing Ferrari, Lamborghini, even Porsche going towards their dual clutch transmissions and retiring the manuals. GM found it's time to do the same. For the next car I'm going to talk about today, the last car of this series, is going back to Dearborn at the Glass House, is Ford's development of the Mustang Mach-E. So for all of you that don't know, the Mustang Mach-E is going to be a full electric version SUV crossover type car that gets 300 miles for the range and also comes with 282 horsepower. This is Ford's first full electric vehicle coming out of their factories, so it should be interesting. But one thing catches my eye when I first heard this name of this car. Why are you putting Mustang in it? It's not a Mustang. Maybe they're trying to brand that as, their kind of sports series of cars. But I don't believe that name should be carried over to this car. It's a different car. I think, branding is expensive. Creating new names and brands is also very expensive. So I see Ford's maybe understanding of why they would do this. But I'm not a big fan of having Mustang and Mach-E. That just, you just need to retire the Mustang and have it with its already many variants of the Mustang with their V8s, V6s, and even their inline four turbocharged cars now that are engines that are found in the Mustangs. That should be a Mustang label. But this has been a car that's been expected. Ford made a lot of, cuts in their employment last summer in 2019 to make room for development and research in their electric vehicle division. And we saw this coming. I've never seen one of these before yet. I've seen the Corvette C8. I think it looks beautiful from the front. It sounds amazing. Interior spectacular. I have not seen the Bronco. We haven't even heard much about the Bronco, but if there was an auto show due to the COVID-19, now there's not, but there was one this summer downtown in Detroit outside. It would be a great car to see. But with this Mustang Mach-E, who knows? Ford's being very quiet with their new releases cars. So we just wait and find out. Well, thank you so much for listening to my channel. You guys can come back to me next week, and we'll be talking about 3 vehicles coming out of Japan that were expected to possibly see this year. These cars range from actually their plug-in hybrid and electric models, because that's going to be shaping the future, and I want to give you guys some insight on that. Thank you so much, and have a great day.